Stupid AOC, one of the dumbest people in Congress. Those are the words that President Trump aimed at New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC had floated the idea of Trump's impeachment because he didn't seek congressional approval before the US bombed Iran.
Trump went on a wild rant on Truth Social against the Democrats, including two non-white congresswomen, Jasmine Crockett and Ilhan Omar. He wrote in part, "Stupid AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. When we examine her test scores, we will find out she is not qualified for office, but nevertheless far more qualified than Crockett, who is a seriously low IQ individual, or Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country." Trump also mentioned Sleepy Joe, Kamala, in the auto pen, his long post, and also mocked Schumer, calling him great Palestinian Senator Crying Chuck Schumer.
AOC fired back at Trump, writing on X, "Mr. President, don't take your anger out on me. I'm just a silly girl. Take it out on whoever convinced you to betray the American people and our Constitution by illegally bombing Iran and dragging us into war. It only took you 5 months to break almost every promise you made." Other Democrats also came on board with the impeachment push. Representative Al Green filed an article of impeachment against Trump. Here he is speaking on the House floor.
"I do it because no one person should have the power to take over 300 million people to war without consulting with the Congress of the United States of America. I do this because if I do not, this authoritarian president that we currently have will continue to assume power. He has already instigated an assault on the citadel of democracy."
I mean, look, of all the things to complain about that Trump is doing that are they're saying are unconstitutional or worthy of impeachment, I'll be honest, this is the one where I am most concede the point. I have said many times on this show, I think this strike on Iran is akin to an act of war and needed to be debated, discussed, and voted on by Congress. I feel that way about what led to the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya under Obama. I was complaining about it then. This is the exact same thing, or very similar thing, so I have to be consistent and complain about it, and have. I believe this power is one that rests with Congress, and I am happy to hear Democrats and some Republicans like Thomas Massie and the most progressive members and most far-right members coming together and saying, actually, this is a responsibility for Congress. It's not really about Trump specifically. He is far from the first president to abuse this power. This is it's become part and parcel, unfortunately, for the presidency to just exert the ability to do war at his own discretion. I think that's bad. I think that's not what our founders intended at all, very obviously. There needs to be a new justification for these efforts. I don't think you can just chalk it up to the generic war on terror justification. So, fair enough. What else can I say? This is not one where I'm going to go, I mean, there is clearly not enough political support to do it, and nor was there at any time in the past, so it's not going to go anywhere. But I would love for Congress to reassert their right to be consulted at the very least. I mean, they're supposed to be the decision makers here. So what else can I say?
I applaud your consistency and for calling out a Republican president who you would certainly have at least more in common with than you would have with Biden or Obama for traducing the War Powers Act, which I think we both agree it does pretty clearly. So, clearly there has been a potential breach of that. I agree with you that the electoral or political merits of doing it seem pretty limited to me. I think you can make the abstract argument. I'm not at all sure that it would help Democrats win any elections to pursue him for impeachment.
It's also just kind of boy who cried wolf. I know that Democrats believe the others had firm rationalizations.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of skepticism of the first one. The second one is perfectly proper.
Sure.
If they'd not done any of those, then you could really go, well, this is the bridge too far. And you'd have me agreeing with you, yes, this is much more clearly a constitutional problem, but they've already done it a bunch of times. It didn't work. So what else can you do?
Before we leave this topic, let me make a defense of AOC, as I am prone to do.
Well, I don't think stupid.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And since Trump raises the issue, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, famously born in the Bronx and raised in Westchester, went to Boston University, double majored in economics and international relations, graduated with honours. Donald Trump his entry into Wharton at Penn was partly facilitated by his family. His brother called the admissions office. He graduated without honours, or at least he's not on the honours list. And Michael Cohen, when he was loyal to Trump, famously threatened people if they were to release Trump's transcript from Wharton. So if we're going to get into a brain measuring contest, I think that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would prevail over Donald Trump.
I think they are both perfectly intelligent people. And,
well, he started it.
And I like with, Bernie, who I just did my whole opening radar on. I think he's perfectly intelligent. Yeah. Obviously, he's a smart man. I just disagree with him. I feel the same way about AOC. I don't think she's dumb. I just disagree with her. And a little bit of the she's dumb thing is kind of cringe and boomer to me now. Well, right-wing websites made a lot, because she's a fun person to. Sure. I mean, she's a telegenic person herself, so you get a lot of headlines with her name in it, draw you a lot of web traffic, so there's a lot of harping on her for that reason. I very much disagree with her, as I very much disagree with Bernie Sanders. I don't think she's dumb. I would not say.
No, and I also think that is adjacent to the argument that one often sees about her online. Oh, she's just a bartender, which, coming from a party, the Republican Party, that these days espouses it as being more in touch with the grassroots of the population. I find.
Well, fair enough, but don't you think she tried to? We have no time for this, but she, portrayed herself as just a bartender. I thought that was messaging on her part, and then she actually. I know they had wealth. She was educated, and then I think they lost their wealth because of her father died. Her father died, right, and then she ended up. So I understand the story, but that seemed like a conscious choice on her part to me.
Zoran Mamdani stuns in an upset win over Andrew Cuomo in the New York City Democratic mayoral primary. We'll have more next.